Joe Biden finally drops from the presidential race. Turns out all those conspiracy theorists were right, which means the Democrats rigged the primaries for Biden to win so that RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson couldn't win, and Biden ends up dropping out anyway. And to add insult to injury, he endorses Kamala Harris for the Democratic ticket. And for a plethora of reasons, this is a problem. But let's start with the fact that me and Kamala got the exact same amount of votes during the Democratic primary process, which is 0. It should also be insulting to Democrats that Biden would pick a candidate who was forced to drop out of the race before a single vote was cast in 2020 because Tulsi Gabbard handed her ass on the debate stage and she only had 1% of the black vote by the end of the week. So despite voters making it clear we don't want her, they decided we're going to get her anyway. But thank God the Democrats are here to protect us from Trump, because it's actually he who is a threat to democracy, not the party who just selected a candidate who was rejected by the party and forced her onto us. Not the party who argued in court during the DNC fraud lawsuit that they can pick whatever candidate they want and the voters have no say, and then goes on to prove that fact by having the president endorse Kamala, who has 0 votes during this primary. What makes this even more insulting is that the Democrats seem to believe that y'all have short-term memory and that we don't remember why we didn't vote for Kamala to begin with. But that's okay, that's why y'all got me. So we gonna talk about it. How about the fact that Kamala is part of an administration that has helped facilitate genocide in Gaza? And there is something, or rather 5 million somethings, that tells me she won't change this stance when she becomes president. Or how about the fact that whether she was DA of San Francisco or Attorney General of California, Kamala always seemed to find herself on the wrong side of history. Daniel Larson, an innocent man, was kept in jail 2 more years after a judge ordered his release because Kamala said he didn't file his petition on time. Or that time Kamala worked with SFPD to convict Jamal Trulove of a murder he didn't commit by falsifying evidence. In addition to falsifying evidence, they paid off a witness and her family $60,000 to lie and say that she had a clear vision of Trulove committing the murder. Or how about the time Kamala entered a race for DA against Terrence Hallinan, even though they were both Democrats, and he was considered at the time to be very progressive. And the reason why is because Hallinan was investigating priests who molested a bunch of kids in San Francisco, and Kamala buried the investigation. I mean, she kept men in jail past their sentences so that she could make sure that California continued to have cheap labor. And I know everybody gets mad when they hear that she put away 1,500 men for marijuana related charges, but they're wrong because she actually almost put away 2,000 men for marijuana related charges in a state where marijuana is legal. And she laughed at putting kids' parents in jails for their kids being truant, knowing that this was disproportionately affecting the poor community because they didn't have people to watch their sick kids, so the oldest would have to stay home.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco.
Oh, and my black brothers and sisters who are thinking about rushing to the polls because you think she's going to do something for us, well, I'll just let Kamala tell you.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Then there was that time she said she had a fundamental problem with investing more in education rather than the private prison system.
Build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. And we walk around everywhere. Build more schools. We protest. Build more schools, less jails. Put money into education, not prisons. There's a fundamental problem with that approach, in my opinion.
But I guess there is one positive takeaway we can get from this whole Kamala debacle. Kamala Harris is proof that anybody can start at the bottom to make their way to the top.